So we're back. Anything to talk about?
Not really. What'd you have for dinner last night?
I'm fine.
You good?
All right. So I needed a little assistant today.
An assistant.
I want to bring up my magical assistant, Sarah, my our youngest daughter. Sarah, come on up.
Hey, Sarah.
She has a gift for you.
What is this?
She's probably not used to that. She'll probably have to pull it out of the helmet, but this is a rabbit out of a helmet. Oh, this is a cheap budget show. Let's remember that. It's got a little king on it. There you go.
And you want me to hold the rabbit?
And what does it say on the back there?
The whack. Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much.
She is a sophomore at McNeese.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad she got her looks from her mom. That's for sure. I mean, goodness gracious.
Also, I want to apologize for my eyes today. Once again, if you saw Sound Out 60 this week, I have a little eye infection, so I'll be wearing these. But the brightness coming off of you is enough anyways.
Well, you know, your future is so bright that you got to wear shades. I mean, it is, you know, it's really good.
Speaking of future, since you led into it.
Okay.
What's the future of your university?
Well, we have received an official invite from the Western Athletic Conference. We are really, really excited about it. And right now, myself...
So what does that mean, you've received an invite?
So
you get an invitation to... Are you the type of guy that gets an invitation to the party and wants to see who else is coming before you go?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. You know, like if I go to the prom with you, I'm going to dance with you and I'm going to look at you. I'm not going to be looking over, you know.
You better do better than me.
So, but no, we did receive an official invitation through, you know, obviously from the WAC. We got the letter, and we're right now in the process, myself, Dr. Rousse and Dr. Brickell, of going through and doing our due diligence to move forward.
What due diligence? This is what you've always wanted.
There's a lot of things that have to go into place. I mean, there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of parts of the contract. There's a lot of, okay, well, you know, what do we got to do to enter? I mean, there's bylaws between both leagues. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, truth be told, it's a lot to go through.
And I want to ask you this. You're the master politician now. I call you the senator.
Okay.
What was the process? What's it been like, the process?
It's been a lot. You know, we've talked about it on air. We've talked about it off air. That you know, conference realignment is it's just so fluid. Honestly, we've been working on an entire year of just getting a pulse of what's going on, and then obviously, you know, talking to different people. And obviously, we've had discussions with the WAC. We've had other discussions with other leagues too, and so it's just been never ending. Just the processes. The amount of communication, the things that have to go on to move conferences, it's a huge task.
Have you gotten any comments from fans today?
You know, I tell you all the time, I don't read the paper.
I didn't say read the paper. Did I ever say the paper?
Well, until everything is completely official, you know, it's hard to try to really celebrate and move into those things and talk about it. But we are doing our due diligence. We did receive the offer. We are ecstatic about it. Our goal, and we've said this all along, is we've looked for, from the day I took over, is becoming an FBS football member. Yeah. And we're not going to stop until we become an FBS member. And the neat thing about the WAC is that they, you know, they're presenting a path to become FBS.
That's what I want to ask is, they have they have the ability to go back into FBS.
They do.
Right now there's roughly, what is it, 6 conferences? There's Power 5, and there's 5 more.
Correct.
So this would be a 6th.
Right. Well, and right now, obviously, it's
if they all stay.
Yeah, and right now, it's obviously what's going on with Conference USA. You know, they're on the process. I mean, it could happen today, tomorrow, whatever, of losing 11 of their 14 members. So what happens to Tech?
They could lose 14 of their 14 members.
They could. What happens to Tech? What happens to UTEP? What happens to Florida International if Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee leave? So back to your original question, it is nonstop communication all across the country of really the pulse of college athletics.
Do you have a map up in your room office somewhere? Do you pull it down when special guests are in and when everybody else comes
only
in?
Only when you come in.
Picture.
But I've been in college athletics 26 years, so I kind of know the leagues and know, I don't need a map of knowing where most schools are.
A year and a half ago, you were a basketball coach.
But I was still in college athletics. I mean, I still know where we're going to go if we go play somewhere. Right.
Where are you going to go in 2 years if you go play somewhere?
Right now, I'm worried about today, and we got a lot of work to do today.
And basically, all you got to do is agree and sign, don't you? Because that's what people are telling me. Well, are they gone? Are they?
And then that's really inaccurate. I mean, obviously, we're doing all of our due diligence to make the move.
Is Incarnate Word coming?
Incarnate Word got an invite as well.
When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Heath Schroyer before our guest Wade Rousse joins us. And then I think he's the whisperer in all this. We'll get into that.
No question.
Well, we're back on Poke Nation. Coach, athletic director, and now kingmaker Heath Schroyer.
No, honestly, it's been a lot of work by a lot of people.
Tom Burnett give you a call today?
He did not. I haven't heard from Tom for a while.
Looking forward to seeing him this weekend?
Sure, why not? Tom's a good guy.
All right. As we move on to this, obviously we talked about the pathway and that. Yeah. What does FBS do? And we talked a little bit, I don't think enough people understand, just the one letter, FCS, FBS,
for sure,
and how people react to you as an institution with an FBS school.
Wow, it's a loaded question. I don't know if you can really measure it of what it means to not only the department, but the institution and the community. I think it changes. Becoming an FBS football member, I think, changes the trajectory of the entire university. I think it is that big. When you look at the schools, and I mean, look at, right down the road, you got UL, you have Tech, and obviously LSU and all that stuff, and Tulane, but their enrollment continues to rise. And a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with FBS football drives enrollment. It drives student engagement. Also, from a financial standpoint, it changes your whole world because the guarantee games that you can schedule, instead of getting a $500,000 or $600,000 guarantee game, you can get a $1.5 million guarantee. Your ability to play on a bowl, your ability to play on a linear TV, on ESPN, CBS Sports, it changes your entire
and your ability
world.
To what you can bring into the whole.
Absolutely.
Because the biggest complaint I've gotten over the years from Cowboy fans as Southland changed was who you were replacing it with.
Right.
And there was no, I guess, true rival, no interest. They wanted to see better teams. If they're going to pay more money, they want to see better teams.
Absolutely.
You will be bringing better teams. You can now bring UL in, whereas
Correct.
UL could not come in before because their league didn't allow them to go down and play.
Right. Once you become a full member of FBS, and what year that happens, you don't know, but there's a pathway. The one thing that the WAC, in all the discussions that we've had, is we've made no secrets that the only reason we were looking to make any move is to become an FBS football member, period. So when that time comes, you're right. Now the natural rivalries, you can start up again. You can you can get UL, you can get Monroe, you can go to Tulane. I mean, Tulane can come here. It just opens up.
Well, you can schedule home at homes where
Absolutely.
You couldn't before.
No question.
And you'll see. I think you'll see fans come back to those games.
I think so too.
I've always said, and I'm still going to write it, I'm still going to say it, is in the end of the day, that's what a conference has to be, has to have a very regional footprint.
You're right. The ones who have consistently survived have always had a geographical location that everyone's together. I mean, it's one or two states.
You never hear much about the MAC because they're all right there.
Absolutely.
They're all like schools.
Exactly
they're all
right.
right there.
That's exactly
and
right.
that should be the blueprint for most of these leagues, I think.
I think so too. The ones who survive are it's hard to go from coast to coast or north all the way to south. I mean, it's hard to do that and continue to sustain yourself as a league. It just is. Did
the Southland ever talk about a pathway to FBS?
Not to me, no, sir.
Even though they saw all these teams leaving for that.
For sure. I mean, that is, when I talked to the ADs in the Texas schools, it was overwhelming, especially Sam Houston. I've gotten really close with Bobby, the athletic director there, and he said the same thing, that they wanted a pathway to FBS football. And listen, it's not going to happen overnight. Right now. I mean, but this thing is so fluid, and it continues to remain fluid because of what's going on with Conference USA, and the teams that are leaving and who's left, and what are the teams that are left, what do they do, what does that league do? This is going to air, obviously, tonight, but by the end of the week, things could change again.
But in tonight?
No question. No question.
So before we even get on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But the great thing is, though, is that it's
what's your
taken
phone bill?
Well, I got a pretty good rate with
pretty
Verizon,
good plan.
so it's okay. Yeah, we're okay.
I guess congratulations then is in order.
Thank you. It's not done yet, but we just to get an official invite from a league that has a national brand that the WAC has. It's a big deal for this university.
Let's be clear with people. It's not the old WAC. This is a newer WAC that has a lot of Southland components into it, which to me is a good thing, because you're not going up into a league where you're chasing that for 3 or 4 years. You're actually going with a bunch of guys that are in the same boat.
Sure.
So you won't have that disparity of talent right off the bat. You'll be gaining your talent as they gain theirs.
For sure. And also, this is a potential 2-bid basketball league as well. Grand Canyon's in there, New Mexico State. Obviously, Stephen F. Austin historically has been really good. Abilene Christian has went to the tournament the last two years. So our basketball is going to be elevated as well. I mean, this is all about a pathway to FBS football, but all the other sports are going to be elevated by this move as well.
He sure gets a seat at the big boys' table.
Well, we're not there yet, but we're working really hard at it.
Back. We'll have a man who was instrumental in this.
The guy. I'm telling you, he's my best friend on campus. And when you talked about it before, the whisper, people have no idea how influential and how big he is for this university.
When we come back, we'll be right after this.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It's an honor and a privilege to have my really, really good friend, Dr. Wade Rousse. Welcome back to Polk Nation, my man.
Glad to be here. It's exciting times.
It's awesome. Well, listen, let's dive into
the Whisperer.
Oh,
here's who he is.
Okay.
I figured this out on the way here. You don't see him in the front, but before the Godfather always makes the decision, he's the guy that whispers in the ear. 100%.
You never watched Wizard of Oz? You know Wizard of Oz, right?
Yes.
The guy behind the curtain.
Yes.
There you go. It's the guy. I'm telling you. Awesome. But thanks for being here. It's great to be here, and crazy times. I know we talked to, Jim and I talked a little bit about it, but what are your thoughts on, obviously we've gotten the invite, but and obviously next week we're going to have the president on, but talk about what it means from a revenue standpoint, or what do you think it means for the university if this all, comes to fruition and we're able to make this move?
It's a game changer. We're excited about it. It's a game changer, and the reason why is higher education in the state of Louisiana has went through a series of disinvestment, and we're facing a budget that we have to think outside the box. We have to think differently, and as a result of that, our leader, Dr. Burkell, as all of you know, he was an inside linebacker. He's met fullbacks in the A-gap head on many a times, and he's willing to meet this challenge as well. And he's restructured the university to this Office of Advancement, where I have 9 divisions report to me. He's one of the directors, the biggest division I have. But all of it is positioning the university in a way to generate alternative revenue that we can reinvest into the university to truly create student engagement experiences. And for us, the top of the list, and we have a lot of stuff on that list, but one of the top things on the top of that list was trying to figure out a path to get to FBS football. It's a game changer in terms of the revenue side of the ledger. It's a game changer in what we think this university will look like 10 years down the road. And he's done an incredible job by creating opportunities and putting us in a position to get to that goal for our university and our institution. Again, it's a revenue play from my standpoint. I don't get into the intricacies of athletics, but when I look at it, I think about the revenue side. and we've got to generate alternative revenue, and this is one way to do that.
Are you finding that students are excited about this, or at least you think it's going to get you into more doors as far as recruiting goes of just students?
Right. We absolutely think it increases the profile of our institution. And being able to have more visibility and having our athletic programs playing on television, we certainly think it impacts enrollment in a positive manner. We think it also really increases student engagement activities that revolve around athletics, band members, kickers, cheerleaders, our fraternities, our sororities. They're all excited about the opportunity of getting a little bit, I hate to say this and probably shouldn't say this, but some of our historic sort of rivals, if you will, back in the Whole, and we get different folks in there. I think the Whole get very excited again. And again, there's another sort of secondary derivative, if you will, in terms of revenue generation. And so we're really excited about it. I think our student body, obviously this is really, really fresh, and we're still working on getting it all done, and it is very fluid as it moves around. But I think as it leaks out, our student body gets very excited about it. We've heard enough in terms of the whispers about wanting it. Our student body wants an FBS program. We know that. And we have a president that is fearless and gives us the ability to run and never think about, are we managing for tomorrow or the next day? Look, if it's to manage for tomorrow or the next day, we'd be saying no all the time. His goal is, how do we advance this institution when we hand off the keys to the next leadership team, that we've advanced it in a way that we're proud of, and we ride off into the sunset. This is a big part of what we're trying to do strategically for the entire university.
And when it comes to TV exposure, this guy gets all the TV exposure.
Yeah.
He's on every interview all over the place.
It's every week. Like, do you ever stop?
So what I want is, I want to know when the university is going to commit to Bobblehead Heath night at the basketball.
Well, we like it that way. We think he's a huge asset. I like to put him out front. He does a wonderful job. We're blessed to have him at our university. He leads an effort that is that's a challenge right now, Jim. I mean, college athletics and enrollment, when we look at the demographic challenge around the country, college athletics plays a big part in offsetting the what we call the demographic cliff that's facing higher education. And we're excited about this move. I couldn't be more excited to have him leading our athletic department and really trying to be a part of, again, we've got 9 divisions doing all kind of similar moves, but it's truly to advance the institution, and for us, this is a big revenue play.
I will say this, though, because I was been on this for a year, almost over a year. I ran into numerous times when I was on the phone trying to tell people, and he was on the phone with the person. At least 4 times in the last month and a half.
He's a busy guy.
I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, Jim, and obviously Dr. Rousse is very modest, but when Dr. Brickell put the foundation and athletics together in what is math, changed this entire department, this entire university, and had we not done that, and him not be in this seat as aggressive as he is, you wouldn't see block parties. You wouldn't see us being able to go and actually have real conversations with leagues to move up without Dr. Rousse. Plain and simple. And I know in the next segment we're going to talk more about that.
Well, that's what I want to get to in the next segment. When we come back on Polk Nation, we're going to get into that and how much that meant to the actual move after this. We're back on Polk Nation, and I guess the next set of questions we hit on a little bit is, how important was getting the finances, the Chick-fil-A money, the Legacy Center, things like that kind of said, hey, we can play with the big boys. How much did that get you in the door?
I mean, it was huge. I mean, obviously, you know, when you go and you're talking to these people, and we do have naming rights now, and you know, and you look at all what we've been able to do in corporate sponsorships and the increase we've done in that, you start talking about the experiences like the block parties that we're having. But
a huge hit, by the way, with fans.
It's huge, but none of it. I'm just telling you that unless you have the financial backing, and unless you have the same mindset from this office with athletics, it won't work. It wouldn't work. And I know he's going to elaborate on this, Dr. Rousse will, but if you don't have those 2 components, athletics and your foundation at this level, moving in the same direction with the same goal, it never works. So none of this would happen without Dr. Rousse.
So we started MAF, the McNeese Athletic Foundation, and those of some of the folks on out there will realize we cranked it up 2 or 3 times. And when Heath and I got here, the last time was to go ahead and sever our relationship with Learfield, bring the corporate sponsorships in-house, and create a department that we hired a great executive director in Claire that was very positive with our corporate sponsors that already have relationships in place. But the idea of MAF was to have 2 tangents. You'd have the corporate sponsorship piece, and you'd also have what I call the eyeball piece that the corporate sponsors also need, and that's the membership side. So by allowing that to happen, we've really increased and continue to do that, increase the operating budgets directly into athletics. So, when we were out there sort of pitching this idea, we had facilities that stack up to all of these folks that were second to none. Our facilities are better than most. And where we were lacking was on the operations budget. So again, it's a revenue play for me. So, well, one of the pieces that we attacked with the revenue side was MAF, so we can directly inject dollars to the operating budget of our athletic department, and MAF's done exactly that. We'll be over $1 million this year. Our goal there is a $3 million market directly to the bottom line of our athletic budget. I think we get there with the excitement revolving around us stepping up the FBS. I think you get there relatively quickly, as we're still building the structure and the background of what that back office looks like, so we can truly fulfill the things we need to fulfill in a very professional manner. And so we're still working on the background of that, but it's instrumental for the move to be able to get a revenue. Look, we've got to get our athletic budget to I'm going to go ahead and say it right here because people have heard me say it over and over. We've got to get our athletic budget to $25 million. And I think we can get there. It's not that difficult if we're playing FBS football.
Well, and I think the other thing too is when I'm having conversations, what differentiates us from other schools in our league, if you will, and this is because the perception out there is, well, McNeese is poor, and McNeese can't do this, and they don't do this. Well, when I say, hey, I have the foundation behind us now, and I have all the assets behind us within the foundation, and we're all moving in one direction, it's a game changer. And, when we talked about it and we put this thing together, we talk 4 times a day. We literally talk from 7 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m., but it's all with one goal, and that's to advance the institution, and MAF is going to help us do that.
I would tell you one other thing. The foundation has got a lot of different things moving forward as investment in student housing, and all of it's revolving around student experience to truly increase who we are. Right. It's not just athletics. I don't want my board thinking it's just athletics out there.
Well,
we do a lot of different things, but what we do is we look for return on investment. On everything we do, we evaluate it in terms of an ROI, and we think this move and our investment in athletics truly has a positive ROI, and we're really, really excited about the news that is probably breaking right now.
And when are you anticipating signing?
Well, obviously, like I said, we're working the due diligence on it. We want to make this move sooner than later, and hopefully, again, sooner than later.
There you have it. McNeese State to the WAC, or basically the WAC is coming to McNeese State. We'll find out more next week on Polk Nation.